Coming up on this episode of This Is True Really News, the supply chain crisis hits home. I'm Scott Combs. That's Tony Verkenis. Please like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News. And tell your friends all about it so they can be just as disappointed as you.
I mean, it would only be fair, right?
That seems the appropriate thing to do.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Verkenis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
So you may not have heard, but Queen Elizabeth died.
Oh, yes.
You realize we'd never gone through that before?
Yeah, that's true.
We have never been through a coronation.
Yep.
We've had firsts. We've seen the royal wedding of the century.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the wedding of the decade. We were alive for the wedding of the decade when Princess Anne got married.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen the House of Windsor implode in the 90s when Princess Anne and Prince Andrew and Prince Chuck all found their marriages falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. And yet, despite it all, the Queen always seemed to come through unscathed. I love that lady. I do. And I'm an American, and we have fought to get rid of them silly old kings and queens. So anyway, this all leads to something. I don't remember what at the moment.
Yeah,
Yep. The southernmost point marker in Key West, Florida. What? It's a landmark delineating the continental United States' southernmost spot of land. It became a memorial to Queen Elizabeth II last week.
Oh.
When city workers installed a British flag and the royal purple banner at the much photographed site beside the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, okay. Okay. I see what they're doing. All right.
The tribute was particularly fitting because the long-reigning monarch who died September 8th at the tender age of 96, had actually visited the Keys back in 1991, the year before her, Horribilis, Annus Horribilis. 92 was not a good year.
Oh, okay.
I think all three kids' marriages were falling apart and Windsor Palace burned or had a good fire in it.
Oh, okay.
Key West Mayor
So she went to Florida
the year before.
Peace out. It's going to be bad next year. I'm going to Florida.
Should have stayed. Oh, ma'am, that might have been your biggest mistake. Key West Mayor Terry Johnston said, "We do have a connection with the Queen. We had the privilege of actually having her visit us. We joined the world in mourning the loss." If you're wondering, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip stopped at Dry Tortugas National Park. Dry Tortugas? Isn't Tortuga
turtle?
Turtle?
Yep.
Dry Turtle National Park.
Think about it, though. Wet turtle doesn't sound all that good either.
No, if it doesn't have Teenage Mutant Ninja in front of it, turtles just can't be dressed up much.
No.
Yeah. They visited the Dry Tortugas National Park, Fort Jefferson, and were welcomed by then Florida Keys Mayor Wilhelmina Harvey, who presented them with a conch shell, an enduring symbol of the island chain. The red, yellow, black, and white southernmost pointer marker, a 20-ton concrete monument. That's attractive. It looks pretty much like a giant marine navigational buoy.
Okay.
It's on land.
It's concrete.
Pretty sure it's on land.
It would sink.
One would think. Concrete is just not that buoyant. It was installed in 1983. It's not been a popular photo stop for travelers ever since. Plans call for the memorial to stay in place for a couple of days.
Ah, that's sweet. I think
I'd leave it there. Although, that spinning noise you hear in Philadelphia
is Benjamin Franklin?
Could be any number.
I don't know where he's buried. This from Axios. The supply.
Why is it Monticello, not Monticello? I mean, Monticello, not Monticello. When I lived in Monticello and Jefferson lived in Monticello.
I think it's half a continent away. So what happens is, dialectically speaking, the ecticals get dialed. And that's what happens.
And for speaking.
Yes. From Axios, the supply chain crisis and an extinct volcano are spurring a new beer shortage. This is going to frighten everybody in Wisconsin.
I'm frightened, and I only live next to Wisconsin.
It seems a carbon dioxide production shortage caused by natural contamination at the Jackson Dome, a Mississippi reservoir of CO2 from an extinct volcano. And who knew we had one?
An extinct volcano?
One full of CO2.
Well, what else are you going to have in a volcano that's extinct?
Rocks, some dirt.
I suppose.
Is forcing brewers to cut back. The carbon dioxide shortage is the newest threat to the beer industry's rebound from the pandemic. Beer makers, particularly small independent craft brewers who generally make their beers far too bitter for anyone to enjoy and should be taken out and strangled, are struggling with inflation.
Wait a minute.
What?
You added that last part, didn't you?
Well, if push comes to shove, I'd have to say yes.
Yeah, you and Tim Berger would have an argument over this. He loves the little craft beers.
Well, you know what I think.
Pretty sure I think it.
Berger.
Yeah, pretty much think he had his taste buds removed at birth because he's been hanging around with Carl and I for 50 years now.
And he still drinks that crap. Anyway, the brewers are struggling with inflation and supply chain troubles. Handful of brewers are insulated from the shortage because they use innovative technology to capture natural carbon dioxide from the brewing process and store it.
I'd have been wrong. I thought they used beer elves.
Beer price. They are the beer elves. Idiot. Are you surprised you hadn't thought of it yourself?
A little bit.
A little bit angry at me for calling you an idiot?
A little bit.
Beer prices have risen less than the broader food and beverage market, he said.
Why?
Not caring. That could change.
Hey, come on. Guinness is like a meal in a can.
Whether CO2 or grain. Hey, I love my Guinness. And it doesn't even taste like it does. Wow, did I just sound like Yogi Berra? What I meant to say, it doesn't taste like it tastes.
What the hell is wrong with you?
We don't have the time to go into it now.
That's true.
It doesn't taste like it tastes where you can get it in Ireland, where it runs out of the taps. Anyway, they're thinking CO2 or grain, whatever.
We have water. They have Guinness taps.
Yes, I think so. I think they brush their teeth.
Why am I still here?
My point. Read your next darn story.
Probably something to do with felonies and that sort of thing.
This would be story 3 for those who are counting, and that would be us.
Very rarely. The sex lives of constipated scorpions.
Now,
I have no story to go with that. That's just the line I wanted to use. Oh, don't give me that look, Lucille. Wait, come on.
Now I'm intrigued.
The sex lives of constipated scorpions, cute ducklings with an innate sense of physics, and a life-size rubber moose. I want the moose.
I want the scorpion.
May not appear to have much in common, but they are all inspired. They have all inspired the winners of this year's Ig Nobles.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they are much more cutting and true to life than the Nobel Prizes.
Yes, they are.
These are the prizes for comical scientific achievement. You know, like when they gave one to Vice President Gore. That should have been a Nobel Prize. It would have been funnier. Held less than a month before the actual Nobel Prizes are announced, the 32nd annual Ig Nobles were, for the third year in a row, a pre-recorded affair webcast on the Annals of Improbable Research magazine's website. And I didn't know there was an Annal of Improbable Research magazine or a website.
Seems to me that we ought to be subscribed.
I don't know why we aren't. The winners, 110 categories, also included scientists who found that when people on a blind date are attracted to each other, their heart rates synchronize, and researchers also looked at why legal documents can be so utterly baffling even to lawyers.
Because they're written horribly.
See? Great. Now I don't have to read the rest of the paper. I hope you're happy.
I am.
Even this spoiler.
Have you ever read a legal document in your life?
No, my eyes glaze over and my brain wants to short circuit. Even though the ceremony was pre-recorded, it still retained much of the fun of the live event, which is something that is never said about the Nobel Prizes in Sweet Torland.
Boy, that was a hoot.
As has been the Ig Nobel tradition. Real Nobel laureates handed out the prizes using a bit of video trickery.
Okay.
Laureates handed the prize off screen while the winners reached out and brought the prize that they had been sent. And had to self-assemble into view. And it's not worthless. Winners also received the $10 trillion Zimbabwean dollar bill.
Okay.
the Zimbabwean $10 trillion bill.
Okay.
So it's not worthless. But I mean, it's virtually worthless, but it's
it is what it is.
$10 trillion bill.
Get enough of those, you could paper the whole wall.
Constipated scorpions.
Medical missives.
I
have plenty of things in the butt stories because they often go to the OR if they can't be easily removed. I find it most fun when patients try to explain how it got there.
It was always an accident.
When we all know how it got up there. Oh, no. I was washing potatoes in the bathtub and accidentally sat on one. Yeah, that's not how it happened.
Or 3.
My wife worked in the emergency department. A guy came in with life-threateningly severe sepsis due to injecting his arms and legs with plant fertilizer.
You're an idiot after all.
To grow his muscles.
What?
He was trying to grow his muscles with plant fertilizer. I'm guessing he was vegan.
But never mind.
I was a medical researcher for a stretch. Homeless guy came in complaining of foot pain. He hadn't taken his boots off for 18 months. The doctor took one off, turned it upside down.
Did his
toe fell out? No.
Yeah, there we go.
The toe fell right out.
Yeah.
Yuck. I'm done.
No, I'll say.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.